Narvel paraphrased it last week by reminding us that as we go into these traditions, whether we're looking at the Tibetan or Buddhist or the Native American or pre-Christian or even contemporary Christian traditions, we see that there are universal themes. There's common threads of understanding, and that's what we seek to present to you each week. I read a couple of days ago about one of Mahatma Gandhi's letters going up for sale. Did you read about that?
No, I didn't.
One of his letters that was written to a religious elder here in the United States, dated April 6th, 1926. And I think the gist of it is that the gentleman was Christian and he was trying to convert Mahatma Gandhi from Buddhism or whatever his path was. And so this is what he told him in this return letter. I would love to have it, but it's going for sale for $50,000. So I'm guessing that's out of the question. Do you not think that religious unity is to be had not by a mechanical subscription to a common creed, but by all respecting the creed of each?
Amen.
I think that's why we're all here.
Yeah.
We're not here to try to convert you to anything. We are here to celebrate your tradition with you, your spirituality, and any way you want to believe. And that's just good enough for us. So, here we are. Well, you know what this, let's see, Friday was. Happy Chinese New Year! And it's now the year of the dog. So these are our dogs. Lady Isabella Bird, she's 9 years old, and Zoe Deschanel Bird. And we always name our dogs after, like we had one named Candace Bergen Bird. We always name them after famous women, and all of our dogs are girls. So anyway, honest and loyal dogs are the truest friends and the most reliable partners. Can I get an amen, Wendy? Thank you so much. And now if you're expecting a call from Spirit, probably won't be on your cell phone. I had a whole message written. I had it all kind of figured out. Well, I had it all figured out. I had a message called Prayer, and I wanted it to be a prayer to create our heaven on earth. So this is going to be rather spontaneous because I was standing in front of the mirror this morning and I looked in the mirror, kind of going over things in my head, and I said, "You are such a bloody hypocrite." And I had to admit, in my mind, I had not, actually in my life, I had not prayed for anything other than prayers of gratitude, prayers of things, but I had not prayed for anything or asked for anything since July 13th, 1990. I know the day. I mean, I know exactly when it happened. And I'm not going to go into how that happened because that's a whole other message. But this is kind of my dilemma this morning. So I'm going to be doing we're just going to be in the moment today.
Good.
Perfect. I really like to see about 4.
Yeah. But I was going to tell you today about Nanda because she's not here, so I was really hoping she'd be here to help me to hear me tell this story because she's really quite an inspiration. And I didn't realize until this morning that I had not been praying. Now, most of you know that she's our chief prayer chaplain. She's our chief prayer warrior, whatever we want to call her. That's what she is. She has a job to do with CUL. She does it well. She does it extremely fervently, and she's serious about it. But she prays for everybody in here. If your prayer is in that request box, she prays for you. And she asked Jesus to take care of this situation. Now let me tell you what she does here, because her method and her process of doing prayers is really quite fascinating. Sunday, when we ask you for prayers, we ask you to put them in the prayer box. Sunday, when we all leave, Velda and Sandy take them home, type them up. Arvel and I get an email with them, and they print out a hard copy for Nanda. So by Monday, she's on this. Monday afternoon, she's all over it. So this is what she does, and I don't think she'd mind me telling you. Nanda takes her Bible, her very well-worn Bible, and she has a beautiful picture, I believe Lee gave her, of Jesus. She lays the picture right there on the left side of the Bible. She takes this picture, or the printed prayers that we just had made up for her. She takes those, kind of scans through them, and she lays it on the right side of her Bible. And what's she doing? She's getting in alignment with what it is that she's now going to ask for. She's getting herself into alignment with that perfect love, perfect peace, knowing that what she's asking for will be done. But then she goes down through each name and prays for that person. She knows that Jesus is taking care of it. She doesn't even have to think about it again. She doesn't have to worry about it. She doesn't have to discuss it with her friends. She doesn't have to go over it again. She doesn't even have to pray about it again, although I think she does because she likes to pray. So she has gotten into this thing that she does so very well, but she's doing it with that alignment with what it is that she wants. And that's where I got really hung up. Not because she was doing it, but because I wasn't doing that. And I was okay with it because I was on a lot of paths. And that's why I love doing what we do here so much, because we don't have any dogma, we don't have any doctrine that we're trying to sell you. There's plenty of places that you can go if that's what you're looking for. But if you just want to be here with us and enjoy this space and the love that we have, you're in the right place then.
Thank you.
Yes.
So she knows that Jesus can fix anything. And that is a very powerful place for her to be. If you know Nanda, and a lot of you do, you'll know that that's exactly what she does. And we appreciate her so much because that's an important part of what we have here at CUL as well, isn't it?
Yes.
We pray, we meditate, we do hand mudras, we chant. We'll do whatever it takes to get us in that perfect place. So I wanted to be more in alignment with love. I got to tell you, the year of 2018 is not only a year of the dog, it's also my year of feeling more love, because there's something about prayer and meditation that brings up that feeling of love in you. Well, I have to tell you that I really haven't felt any passion like that overwhelming sense of love since July 13th, 1990. So I decided a few months ago that I was going to start doing this. Now I decided my buzzword is approach everything with love. And that's been a real eye-opener with me. That is what I think that Nanda does when she sits with her Bible and does her prayers. When we pray or when we meditate, but especially I think when we pray and we have that knowing that whatever it is we're praying for or lining up with is going to be there for us, whether it's a healing. Well, everything's a healing, whether it's spiritual, psychological, emotional, material, everything are healings. And the only way you can receive that healing from any source, and I'm telling you there's lots of sources, because everything feeds right into you. You are your source of healing. If you can't line up, if you don't line up with your own self, you cannot be healed. So my way of lining up, and the only way I could think to do it besides praying to some God that I didn't necessarily, especially back then, did not believe was there for me, I had to find something else that I could do. So I started approaching everything with love. If I went on a dog walk with Wendy, I wanted to feel love. I wasn't real talkative that day, so I just wanted to feel love. I do the dishes. I started with feeling love, because I could get really irritated about that stuff. You know, I'm a type A. I got to do this so I can get this done, so I can hurry up and do that. Why? Why? It never gets done. I mean, nothing is ever done. For me, this was a way of slowing down, aligning with something really wonderful, which was having clean dishes. And well, just to digress, a couple of days ago, I decided I was going to take everything out of the drawers and wash them. Wash the drawers, wash the little plastic Rubbermaid things that you put your silverware in and all that. I pulled everything out. It's on the floor, it's on the counter space that we have, and it's on the table. And then I got done and I thought, what was I thinking? I don't want to do this. So I had to get myself, I had to remind myself again. I wanted to approach this with love. And it sounds like such a trivial, meaningless thing to do, but it really, really works. I mean, if I can be, and let me tell you, I'm basically uninspirable. So if I can be inspired to do this, and inspired by approaching things with love, anybody can do this. So feel free to use it if you want to. Not long ago, I started praying for things to change. I prayed for time. It was not really a prayer like you would think about, but it was like, oh, criminy, give me some time to practice. That's my version of a prayer. Give me some time to practice the piano. Give Arvel some knowledge about his new stupid computer so I don't have to stop 5 times a day to help him. It's annoying. I mean, yes, I'm kind of a techie, but, you know, it's like, hey, it's your computer, get a Mac. But anyway. He sticks with Windows for some reason, I don't know. So I kind of meditated and visualized and tried to approach this with love again, you know, just trying to get in that space. I also prayed, Wendy will enjoy this, I also prayed for the dog to learn to walk themselves and pick up their own poop. But you can see how well that turned out. When I started asking, or started approaching things with love, everything started changing. Dogs never did learn how to walk themselves. Dishes never did themselves. Arvel still hasn't learned the computer. But what happened is it changed me. When you approach things with love, you are completely 100% in the moment. You're not worried about what anybody else is doing or what else you should be doing. You are in that moment. You're actually enjoying what you're doing. So sometimes when we ask for things, we ask God for things to do. Now I'm going to use God, Jehovah, all these things interchangeably because there's a whole, 1,000 names for what we call God. So I'm not going to go through them each time. So we'll just stick with God for now. And Edwina Gaines tells the funniest story, but she talks about stomping your foot at God. Has anybody done that? I want this! I want this! But her friend Lana and she decided they were going to go to Spain. They started praying. They knew how to pray now. They were doing this positive thinking. They were going to manifest this trip to Spain.
Yep. Didn't happen.
Well, 2 days later, Lana got money from her mother to buy the airplane ticket. And as the deadline got closer and closer for her to have to buy her ticket or she was going to lose it, because back in those days, you know, you could reserve an airline ticket. It's not like today. So it was getting really close to the deadline, and she was just talking and stomping her foot at God. She would not let it up. And every day she was just getting more angry and angry and angry. So finally, she went to her mother and said, you know, Lana's mother gave her the money for her trip to Spain. And Mama said, oh, isn't that wonderful? So Edwina's just kicking rocks down on the driveway. Her mom said, can you go pick up the mail for me? I'd really appreciate it. So in the meantime, Edwina she decides that this isn't working for her. Stomping her foot at God is not working at her. So she starts saying prayers of appreciation. Oh God, I'm really happy for Lana. You understand? I'm very happy for Lana. I appreciate that she's going to Spain. And Lord, I know that there's a way that I could go, but I'm not seeing it yet, Lord. I sure would appreciate your help. And then over time, it started getting softer and softer. God, I really love Lana, and she so deserves this trip. I'm so happy and thankful for her. Thank you for this opportunity. I know my time will come. And every day, every time she said it, it got a little softer, a little softer. She started feeling that love and appreciation for Lana. And probably for God, too. That figuring there's got to be some reason. So she's at her mom's house. And she's still, trying to get money from her mother or any place. Her mom says, please go check the mail. Just go check the mail and bring it back in. So she goes down, checks the mail. It's a long walk. They're country people. It's a long walk down the mailbox. She opens the mailbox, and there's a letter that day. She finally gives up. She sees, but this letter comes in the mail. It's from a girl that she was a roommate with years before. So she opens it up. It's addressed to her at her mother's address. And she says, you may not remember this, but we bought a bunch of furniture, a bunch of old furniture back when we were roommates together. And well, wouldn't you know, one of those pieces ended up being really valuable. And I just didn't feel, we worked so hard back then, we were so broke, I just don't feel right keeping all the money. So here's a check for 1/2 of what I sold it for. And as Edwin says, it was $20 more to the penny than what she needed to go to Spain. So guess where she and Lana went? She's just one of my favorite people. So what does stomping your foot at God do? It really doesn't change God. It doesn't change anything externally. It changes us. Just like approaching things with love has changed me. So, I'm looking through my notes here, and it's like, nothing's making sense at this point. Yes, sir.
So, I'm a lifelong meditator and all these good things, but I wanted to get this table. In a formal dining room, I wanted to get a table, and I got kind of like a little brat kind of person. I remember like stomping my foot, and voila, I got a table. And I got that table home, and I never really liked that table. I got rid of it.
Did you?
So it wasn't, I got what I didn't get what I wanted.
You weren't Edwin's roommate, were you? And sometimes there's that Garth Brooks song, some of God's greatest gifts are unanswered prayers or something like that. And that's true. It's something small, like a table. But honestly, I can think of a lot of guys that I would love to have been involved with in high school or college, and oh gosh, I am really glad I didn't now, thanks to Facebook. I did actually, through this process, when I started learning about Edwin and not stomping your foot at God and things like that, I did actually manifest Arvel. I did. I made a list. I think I've already told you. I've been divorced 3 times. Anybody shocked? Okay. So I've been divorced 3 times. I was single for 10 years. I did not want to get married. And so I made this list of somebody impossible to create. So my girlfriend's saying, oh no, you've got to you've got to have somebody. You don't want to wake up and be 50 and not have anybody. And I thought, what's wrong with that? I really don't have a problem with that. But in her defense, she was trying to help me be happy. So I made this list of impossible standards. I said I wanted somebody athletic, I wanted a musician, or at least somebody that was musically inclined. I wanted somebody that's tall, dark, and handsome, because I had been the blonde route, didn't work. I wanted somebody that was spiritually connected. I wanted somebody that was, oh gosh, I can't even think of all those. I mean, it was like 2 pages, handwritten pages of things. So I thought, oh, I'll never find anybody like that, but that's exactly what I got. The only thing that was on that list that I didn't know about Arvel at the time, because he was with Glenn Campbell, and all I knew him was a musician, brilliant violinist, cute as all dickens. And so the only thing I didn't know was that he's also a very good athlete. So it all worked out for me because those are all very important qualities to me. Oh, okay. So now you know most of what there is to know about me and my day today, which was a total epiphany. I mean, I've been working for a long time on trying to be kind to myself and say nice things to myself. So when I'm standing there dripping toothpaste in the sink, brushing my teeth, saying to myself, "You are a phony, you are a hypocrite," it was like I couldn't even stop it from coming out of my mouth. Because I really pride myself on not being that stuff, you know. But anyway, so that's how my day ended up, and I kind of apologize that it really didn't go the way I wanted it to go, because the whole thing was centered around Nanda, her prayer work, how we can help others through prayer, but that it doesn't really change the other person. It doesn't change external circumstances, it changes you. Understood that prayer does not change those external circumstances, but it can get us back into alignment with what it is that we want. Health, prosperity, insight, love, peace. You know what? And a lot of that peace thing can be taken care of if we just turn off the news. I just quit doing that. Once in a while I check in on the news and I think, oh, why did I do that? But I got to the place where that's their crazy stuff. I don't have to go there. So that's...
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I am. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I am. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.